Welcome back to Channel C1. I'm Demica Jamaal.
And this is Cam King. And today, full-length album reaction on Patreon available for you right now. Several different
many albums.
Taylor Swift albums, other artists' albums.
Chappell Roan, Gracie Abrams.
Sour.
The Sour's on there. Yeah.
Sour.
But also, if you want to keep track of the order of our Taylor Swift journey, the best way to do that is on Patreon, because sometimes we don't post them in the order that they are reacted to here on YouTube. All right, I already know this vibe. I'm pretty sure I know this song. I think I've at least heard pieces.
You were in college working part-time, waiting tables, left a small town, never looked back.
That's literally me.
I was a flight risk with a fear of falling, wondering why we bother with love if it never lasts. I say, can you believe it? As we're lying on the couch, the moment I can see it, yes, I can see it now.
You remember we were sitting there by the water. You put your arm around me for the first time. Yeah, I just enjoy older Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
More.
How old? Like 35, 36?
I'm glad you went that direction. Anyway. I just enjoy it.
Good phrasing. It just there's a bliss about like just the vibe, the melody she chose and the delivery. Even though she re-recorded this in the as she was older, you can still hear like almost like the youthfulness. But yeah, she does a good job. This is like her signature as far as like painting pictures. You were in college working part-time waiting tables. Okay, you got that. Left a small town, never looked back. I was a flight risk with a fear of falling, wondering why we bother with love if it the phrasing of that love if it never lasts. And then can you believe it? It's got some nice voice crack in there on that. Can you believe it? I really like that. And as we're lying on the couch, and then boom, Kevin Gates actually referenced this lyric. I remember he was talking about how he likes Taylor Swift songs or something, or he likes songs like this.
Funny.
He's like, do you remember we were sitting there by the water? You put your arm around me for the first. That just gives you a nice little picture of what's going on. And then the flow is nice. Yeah. And then Careless Man's Careful Daughter. Like the juxtaposition there a little bit. You are the best thing that's ever. Yeah, no. Of course, a little bit of nostalgia, coming in my enjoyment of this song, because I do remember pieces of it. But
yeah, I
it's
didn't.
Good.
Yeah, when that pre-chorus came in, I was like, oh, I've definitely heard this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the album we grew up on. So like, this is when I used to listen to the radio and stuff. So this stuff was probably prime Taylor almost. I'm not surprised if she wrote the entire thing by herself. I mean, most of her stuff is written by herself. Even if she did have a collaborator, though, I wouldn't. There are certain artists I trust that they're still writing their songs, even with collaborators. So, and there's her artists who maybe need more collaborators.
Yeah. Careful Daughter.
You are the best thing that's ever been mine. Flash forward and we're taking on the world together. And there's a drawer of my things at your place. You learn my secrets and you figure out why I'm guarded. You say we'll never make my parents' mistakes, but we got bills to pay.
careless man's careful daughter.
You are the best thing
That's ever been mine.
You remember all the
City lights on the water. You saw me start to believe for the first time.
You made a rebel of a careless man's careful daughter.
You are the best thing that's ever been mine.
And I remember that fight 2:30 a.m. as everything was slipping right out of our hands.
Oh, yeah.
Crying and you followed me out into the street. Brace myself for the goodbye, 'cause it's all I've ever known. And you took me by surprise. You said I'll never leave you alone. You said, I remember how we felt sitting by the water. And every time I look at you, it's like the first time I fell in love with a careless man's careful daughter. She is the best thing that's ever been
In mine. I had to guess where she's going with that one. Never turn back.
Be the rebel of a careless man's careful daughter. You are the best thing that's ever been mine. Do you believe it? I'm gonna make it now, and I can see it. I can see it now.
I can see it now. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you for
Yep.
the 5 gifted subs, Broccolit.
Broccoli.
Zero.
Yeah, well, you can say whatever you want about Taylor Swift, but she can't
All right.
say she lazy because the way she switches the lyrics on her pre-chorus and chorus like consistently instead of just anybody, like no one would like criticize her if she just left the chorus the same. Everybody leaves the chorus the same for the most part. But like switching up the pre-chorus just like completely, and then with the second half of the second chorus, do you remember the city, the lights on the water instead of sitting by the water? And then the third chorus, she tells it from the man's perspective. Like I just always appreciate it. Keeps the song interesting. But yeah, while also maintaining the melody that you recognize.
So what I like about older Taylor, and some may disagree with this, while I have enjoyed the Torture Department, I do find it sometimes a bit wordy. And I like that her younger work is still detailed, but not as wordy.
It's more concise. Like there's no extra. Some of the Torture Post Department are like there was moments where it could feel like a little like cumbersome.
Yeah, and I get it.
It's like
it's part of the theme. Tortured Poets Department is supposed to be kind of like poetry.
Yeah.
More like poetry than a song. So I understand, but I do. I like that her younger work isn't so much more simple. That it's just like straight pop country.
Right.
Like
She still sounds like a professional.
It's still detailed. It still paints a picture. It still tells a story. But I appreciate. I like wordy too. It's just for me sometimes too wordy.
Also, she does a good job of really like capturing like sense of like pure, like there's a thoughtfulness, but there's also like a purity to the expression. Like this is just exactly how she felt and exactly
right
her feelings put onto paper and then put into song. But yeah, there's just the picturesque lyrics. Just, do you remember all the city lights on the water? You saw me start to believe for the first time. Made a rebel of a careless man. Yeah, it's just, and then the bridge, nice, smooth, slipping out of our hands. Yeah, it was just, yeah. And you never know. You said I remember really sitting there by I fell in love with a careless man.
Taylor Swift really makes the sparks fly.
Yeah.